Hello and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I'm Michael Gracia as always, and I got a really fun show planned for tonight. Um, the guest has been on before. Uh, One of my favorite people to chat with. Always a great time having him on. Uh, it's the Crazee Man himself, Sam Vera. Let's bring him on. Hello, Sam.
Guess who's back?
Yes.
Back
Hey, what is
man.
this? Like your fourth, fifth
Sam is
appearance?
back. Yeah, hold on. I got a VIP pass.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I wouldn't bring you back if I didn't enjoy chatting with you, man.
What's up?
So it's great to have you on. You're here to talk about Forbidden, issue 2, The
Yes,
Hunt,
the
which is
hunts.
up on Kickstarter right now. And we're gonna get to talk about that in a few moments. But it's been a long time since we chatted. So how's
Yeah,
everything going?
everything's going good. Settled in Texas.
Mhm.
I probably haven't gone further than Walmart. Since I did it here. Walmart and Whataburger.
Wow.
Those are the spots for me right now. And just been settling in and
Yeah.
getting adjusted to this environment.
Yeah. And uh, being an artist, have to ask, how's your studio coming? Is it set up already? You all good?
You see, you haven't even seen. I posted.
Oh, no, no, no.
I
I
posted the
did, I
studio
did watch
tour.
your studio tour. I just didn't know if you were doing more to it or not.
No, no, no. It's done.
Oh,
The
it's
studio
done.
tour is
Yes. No, no,
done.
no, dude. I watch as much as I can.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of shows I follow. I'm behind on some, but no, I saw the studio tour. I just always have to ask how if you're doing anything else.
yeah. The only
I
thing I'm waiting on is outside of in the hallway outside my studio. I'm gonna put a bookshelf for all of my art books because the I don't have the space to put my art books here.
Yes, I
Yeah,
actually remember you saying that in the video.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. No, I only asked that question, being a studio, like I love a setup. I change my stuff constantly, constantly. So I was just curious how everything was
Well, I
going.
wasn't expecting to change my studio. And the move to Texas was we talked about it. I've been married 23 years. So,
Yeah.
and my wife's from Texas, and she's
Okay.
always wanted to come back. But for every time we got close to making the decision, she got cold feet, and for whatever reason, so I was like, "There's no time better than now. Let's just do it."
Yeah.
And so we had a family meeting, and we said, "Let's just go," and we did it.
Mhm.
And I just closed on my house in Jersey last week.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. So that's sold. I'm not
Mhm.
paying 2 mortgages anymore, thank goodness. Um, so yeah, so now it's just settling in, and then my
Yeah.
wife finishes. She's still in Jersey
Mhm.
until December 23rd. She'll be here for
Okay.
Thanksgiving, but she's been on assignment working, and so December 23rd she'll be here permanently.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And how are you like in Texas? The difference from being in New York and Jersey and
Um. So far, other than the wild animals, we're talking offline. It's
yeah,
crazy.
offline about that. Yeah.
It's crazy. I got the neighborhood app, right? So I get these
Yeah.
alerts, and it's like, Bobcat in the neighborhood. Be careful, somebody's dog got jacked up. What is it? The other one, mountain lion.
Mhm.
Somebody's pet got jacked up. Coyotes, and I'm like, holy crap! And then I have chihuahuas in the yard, and I saw a shadow, and I looked, and it was a hawk hovering, waiting to swoop in and grab one of them. I was like, oh hell no! And then you compound that with the spiders here. The spiders on the East Coast
Mhm.
are punks compared to the spiders out here in Texas. These spiders are not, they're like superhuman. First of all, they're fast, they're everywhere. And
Mhm.
so I was in the kitchen, and I had my
Mhm.
brother in law and my sister in law over, and I happened to look up, and I see something hanging from the ceiling. It's a gecko hanging upside down from a spider's web.
Oh my
And
god.
I was like, and I look at the gecko, his eye sockets are gone. They just tore that thing up. And I'm like,
Oh.
how the hell did they get him up there? And he was hanging from the ceiling. And I was like, so then I look in my yard, and I have a perimeter fence. It's a big wooden six,
Yeah.
7 fence. But in my yard, surrounding my deck, I have a metal fence to So my dogs don't go on the grass. And so, and each of those squares of the fence has about 12 rows with 12 squares in each row, right?
Yeah.
The spiders made webs in every single square, and it goes at least 20 feet. Every single. So now these poor insects that are flying and bringing groceries home for their family, it goes, and the spiders are going. There's no way for them to fly through them. They netted the whole thing. I had
Oh
to
my.
go in there and try to remove all. Then, it's crazy.
Oh
Then
my
I'm in the yard and I see this silk little thing going flying and lands on me. I said, "Are they trying to wet me?" I was like, "Yo," and I was like, "You see the silk string go through?" And I'm like, "They're trying to wet me." It's like, "Oh, we got one. Let's get them." They're everywhere. They're big. They're fast. They're scary. I put a cup on one of them because it was the size of a quarter and it's thick. I put a cup on it and I didn't realize that it was a mother. And when I put the cup on it, off her back came hundreds of miniature little spiders. And it looked like something out of a movie. I was like, oh, I scooped it
wow.
up with a paper
Mhm.
plate and I dumped them in the toilet. It's the craziest thing.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God. Well, I even though Texas was on my list of states to visiting, you've just changed my mind.
it's
Uh,
crazy. It's crazy. Try watering the grass. The grass crunches. So in the East Coast, the grass is nice and soft, and people lay on
yeah.
the lawn. Here, don't even think about it. I was watering my lawn,
Mhm.
and it's a hard grass out here, and you see these things moving and they're fast. I'm like, what the hell was that? What is that? And you see them everywhere. I'm like, this. I'm never gonna sit on the grass ever again.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you persuaded me never to visit Texas.
Oh, it's
So
it's out of control. Out of control. I was like,
anyway, anyway, let's talk about your comics, man, because you're moving super fast on a lot of stuff. You're like just throwing out product after product, man. I think
oh,
this is awesome. I mean, I'm assuming your next Kickstarter. This one has 7 days to go. Next Kickstarter will be what, up in 2 weeks? You're moving
no,
so fast.
February.
It's February.
February.
See, though, it's
But that one's a different title. That one is for Disneyland in my toilet.
which I'm dying to read.
Yes, that
I
one
I
is.
love that. Um, and I
Uh,
think that's great. I feel like you, me, and George should do like a crossover between Wonder Duck, Plunger Pup, and There's an Alien in My Toilet.
yeah, we made the decision to move
Mhm.
to push the Cast the Crazies to the summer and
Okay.
bring the Alien in my toilet forward. And
Okay.
actually, tomorrow at 12, tomorrow George will be here in Texas.
Oh, cool.
He has a layover. He's flying to California. He has an 8-hour layover here. So I'm picking him up at the airport. We're coming here. We have a 12 o'clock go live, and we're going to announce our 2022 plans and our strategy for 2022. Um, and so we decided just to shift things around. I mean, he'll be releasing Wonder Duck next year on
Yes.
Kickstarter. Um, so next year is the Cast of Crazies in the summer. There's
Mhm.
Alien in My Toilet earlier in the year, and then end the year with Forbidden, the graphic novel, the full 200-page book. Um, and we decided to do things that way
Mhm.
to gives us time with the crazies
Yeah.
and introduce and basically flex our creative chops and
Yeah.
show people who are still getting to know who we are, how diverse we are, and how many things that we have in the pipeline.
No, that's awesome, man. I think you guys are doing great with all this stuff. I'm seeing it. I'm getting excited for the work you guys are putting out. Every time I see a post, whether it's you or George, I get excited. Like I said, it's just there's so much. I like to see, first of all, independent people succeed, like indies succeed. I'm big fan of what you guys do, so I like to see that even more. And I just, it's great that you guys have this plan. It's like, you're not just looking to put one thing out. You're really forming a true company and creating a library of products to
Yeah.
entertain your fans and readers and stuff. And I think you guys are very smart with how you're handling, how you handle your business.
Yeah, it's I think for being away for so long and then coming back and everything gets shut down, it made
Mhm.
things a lot challenging, right?
Yeah.
Because where I'm at my best is in the field, at the conventions, um, networking, promoting, talking to the consumer, talking to
Yeah.
the comic book fans, and
Yeah.
building those relationships. Where I'm learning and at a snail's pace is really how to build that community online when there's just so much information online.
Yeah.
And nothing compares to when you meet that person at a convention, you make a connection, they laugh, they walk away, they like your book, and then they contact you and say, "Yo, I like it. When's the next one coming out? Or how can I get the second issue?" You don't have that same communication and relationship on crowdfunding
Yeah.
and online. It's very transactional, and so I'm trying to build relationships. I love the relationship. I love the feedback. I love the the two-way engagement. And so I'm still learning how to, play in this cyberspace where the algorithms are constantly changing.
Yeah.
Where the interests change like the weather,
Yeah.
and stay focused. So, we cast the crazies. We had all of our projects were successful crowdfunding. They weren't the kind of success that we would have at shows.
Mhm.
So I would do a show, and I would have, if you compare the backers at a show, I'd outperform a crowdfunding campaign just from natural human connection. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build that relationship online, and that's the tough part. How do you get somebody to take notice of your project when there's 5,000 other projects simultaneously running at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is difficult, but I think you guys are doing it, you know? Um so by the way, I just put down across the bottom for those who are just watching Sam for the first time. If you go to youtube.com and follow Catch the Craze, he has his own podcast, which is why we started at 9 today instead of 8:30 because he was on with a guest
Yes.
recording his show. Was it a live show or was it a
It's a pre-recorded. This one airs
pre-recorded
Friday.
for release? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, and you were recording tonight, and which is why we're starting at 9. And let me tell you, his show is fantastic. Him and George, great guys, work well together. You
Thank you.
know, it's a great balance the way it's almost like watching like brothers kind of interact,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
ever since I picked them up from the Big Brother program, I could never shake them. So I was
but
like,
but that's true. I mean, you guys are so you mesh so well. It's like you've been together forever. You've known each other for forever.
yeah,
So I think it's what makes your show great. Is the two of you, the way you interact together, um, and the way you talk with the guests. And I am a little behind on your shows. I have to admit. I see the like when you post something on Facebook, like we talked about the studio. I did watch that. I remember watching it. I remember you talking about the bookcase, but I only asked because I was just curious if you're doing anything new or updates to it. But
no,
those shorts are just easy for me to watch quickly.
yeah,
It's sitting down to a show when I listen to so many other podcasts and all these people are my friends and I don't want to be insulting to anyone. It's like, I missed your show this time or I didn't watch it live or whatever. So I kind of, when I'm in my studio working, I throw a podcast on, I'll listen or watch whatever it is too, one show one day and then I try to kind of cycle stuff and do like two or three one day if I'm backed up. I do the same thing with comics. So don't, don't
no,
feel bad, man.
I try, like, when I'm working in the studio,
Yeah.
if someone's live, I'll go in the chat and I'll give a wave and I'll say and I'll listen to them while I'm
Yeah.
working. But that's the reason why I do the Crazy 10 less as well, and the What's in the Box, because it gives
Yeah.
people short videos that they can take and go, and hopefully drive that traffic over to the big show.
Which is something I like because you seem to post a lot. Like you make these videos quite often,
Yeah.
um, and I think it helps. I mean, I see the stuff being posted. I go to them the majority of the time if I'm not in the middle. Is like if I'm scrolling on my phone at work or whatever, I won't go to it. But if I'm home, man, or I'll bookmark it or something to watch later.
Yeah.
I like those things. I like the quickness, and you have a great persona in the way you interact with people on camera. So and the way
I
you
guess.
talk, man. So I really like watching that stuff. Anyway, let's get to your comic, because I have the first issue somewhere around here. I was going to pull it out, but I had a little no, there was a little emergency like about an hour before I was supposed to come on,
Oh,
and I had to take off, get out of the house for a little bit, you know, help some stuff. I got home, maybe about 15 minutes before the show, so I didn't get a chance to pull everything out. But I have the Forbidden issue. I read the first issue that I have. Um, I loved it.
thank you.
It was the artwork was fantastic. The story is good. You're building up to something really, um, really nice. Um, but for those who may not be familiar with Forbidden, I'm going to share the screen right now, and maybe you can talk a little bit about the idea behind Forbidden, a little bit of the story, catch a couple of people up. Yeah, this is the one. So I'll go through this in a moment, but just tell us a little bit about Forbidden.
So Forbidden is basically it's a classic tale of an inquisitive son who wants to explore, but he's forbidden from doing so because his family and his has been cursed. So centuries ago, the people they roamed the surface of the earth. A few of the hunters went into a forbidden forest. They were immediately attacked by creepers, which are these dark demons, and
Hmm.
so one escaped with his life. Then confronted by this figure who says, "Give us back that hunter who, entered our forest, and no harm will come to you. Choose not to do
Yeah,
so, and you will suffer the wrath of Nagron." They chose not to do so. The people woke up in the morning to screams. They were burning from the sun. They ran underground, never to be seen again. So where issue 0 started off, where the son's challenging his father, because the world has evolved, but they haven't. They still remain primitive. They still remain underground. We're in modern day technology. The son's challenging his father, saying, "How do you know this curse exists, father? This is all we know." And the father doesn't want to hear it, so he locks his son up, and until he gets rid of those thoughts. And the son does the unthinkable. He fights his way out, committing murder to escape, and with the aid of his lover Arius, and they flee to the surface. And from that point on, the story takes off because there's a tale that says that Nacron, who is the demon that put the curse on them, his plans to dominate the globe will be thwarted at the hands of the Son of Rocks when he's risen from the caverns. So now the Son of Rocks has risen, and so now the forces of evil have to find him and destroy him before he destroys their plans. He doesn't know his purpose. He just knows he wants to find out explore the surface of the world,
yeah,
because all he knows is the caverns. So he doesn't know why he's unlocked. His sister does. She's caught between her father and her brother, so she needs to now make a decision and choose to either go find her brother, bring him back safely, or prepare for the inevitable, what he's unleashed and what's to come.
yeah.
Because if they know that he's risen, they're going to try to come and stop it. So that's where it takes off. He's befriended by a strange old wise man named Viejo, and and issue 1 starts off where he's on the surface and Arius is gone. What happened to Arius? They escaped together. So that's where it takes off. So there's a lot of different elements in this issue number 2, because this is the third issue in the series. You'll find out who Viejo is to the story. You'll learn a lot about this strange wise man. You'll learn about Donovan Limbo, which is Nacron's David Hunter's aide. You'll learn about David Hunter, his true identity. Um, you'll figure out what Desiraa's motives are and what she will do based on what just happened and who is she looking for. And then we introduce another new character in this issue, which I won't name, but you'll figure out. You'll start piecing. It gets a little more complex, but also a lot more exciting because
Yeah.
it starts moving into a direction where you are now choosing sides and you
Mhm.
are trying to be your own investigator and trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And you think but you have no idea.
Interesting. First of all, I love that idea. Now, with coming into what's the word I'm looking for? The Kickstarter here. I'm sorry, it took me a moment. Listen. I've been away for the last few days.
I know you were
Um,
having fun.
I, I, yeah, I was in Disney World. Yes, it's fun, but it was tiring. I went to the Destination D23 event that talks about the parks and everything. Got some really cool gifts and things they gave us and some things I bought. But it was a long, long kind of tiring thing, and I'm still recovering. I got home yesterday, um, and I'm so behind on so many things that I need to take care of, and I'm still tired. I need another day of sleep, I think. So
Yeah.
having little brain farts here and there, but so on Kickstarter here, you've already backed your project with 35 people, which I think is fantastic. And you didn't ask for much. You only asked for 500, and you've basically doubled what you've asked for, and you got a week to go. But you know, just because you've been backed doesn't mean you can't get more, and you could do more stuff, get more fans out there. And I noticed, I saw this a little earlier, that you have this great Black Friday sale.
Yeah, so this kicks off Thursday midnight,
Mhm.
and Black Friday sale, and basically, that bundle alone is $45 without the additional things with the. So this you get the graphic novel, you get 2 stickers, you get the Arius and Sin sticker, the Lord Vox sticker, you get the bookmark, you get 2 trading cards, you get a commission sketch card, you choose the character, I will draw it. You get the sketchbook volume 1 and you get the pinup all for $45, and that $45 includes the shipping.
That is amazing. I'm assuming continental US,
Just the
and
US. Yes, just
yeah,
the
just the
US.
US. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, international,
Okay.
there's a fee, and I'm only shipping US and Canada right now. So
Okay.
Canada, unfortunately, if you're listening to this, there is a shipping fee because it's a lot pricier to ship internationally.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so that's exciting. So I decided to do that to hopefully entice those midnight shoppers who are going
Yeah.
out trying to get those deals, considering that all the retailers are closed for Thanksgiving. So why not
Yeah.
go on Kickstarter and get a good gift?
Yeah. This is a great package for that price, man. That's a lot of good stuff.
Yes.
Um, and you have already unlocked your stretch goal.
Yeah, the Viejo sticker. So stretch goal number 1 we unlocked. Everybody will get that Viejo sticker.
Mhm.
Um, and if and again, my goal was trying to get as many backers as possible. Even if everybody did the $5 digital, I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
get readers. For me, it was just trying to get as many readers as possible. So, which
yeah.
is why I did that. Help us get to 100 backers, and one person will win all those covers. So they would
That's
have
great.
gotten those 12 covers plus a copy of Cosmic Wars, Designated in My Toilet, and Catch the Crazies.
Wow.
And who knows, anything's possible, but I wasn't sure if that was going to make it. But then we have the weekly raffle. So every backer at $15 or more, we take 5 names. Every time we get 5 backers at $15 or more, we put them into a raffle. Tomorrow at noon, we have 5. We actually have 6, but 5 is going into it. So we need another 4, and they will. A winner will get the digital version of ARG, my prose, my short story prose that I wrote. It's about a
Mhm.
goblin born into a human family, and they denied ever having him, and there's a whole lot of things that happens there. But yeah, so and it's never before seen. The only people that've seen ARG were at ZoloCon, and so I haven't promoted that yet. So you'll get a first exclusive.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that last time I was on. That sounded fascinating. That story.
Yes. So
So
we
I.
already had 2 winners. We had Spooky T2I on the first raffle, and we have
Mhm.
Pops Van Zandt on the second raffle. So tomorrow's the next raffle, and so we'll
Okay.
have the name for tomorrow.
Oh, cool. And only $15, man, and that's pretty good. I like
Yeah.
that. Now this is the Black Friday one you just
Oh,
added, or
this is pre-Black Friday. This
okay.
is where I added an incentive for every 10 backers that got the graphic novel
Mhm.
bundle. Those 10 people would get a commission sketch card. Um,
Nice.
and so that was to push the graphic novel. I added that, and then I decided, you know what? Let's for Black Friday, let's go even further and throw in some few other things.
Nice. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna copy the link and put it into the comments here. So you guys, you can go open up a new window. Do not leave the show. Uh, you know, open up a new window or wait till the Wait till the end of the show, but click on it and support this, back this. It's a great project. When you were talking earlier, I was kind of leaning over. I was looking to see if it was in the pile. The Forbidden was in the pile of books that I had here, but they're in another pile underneath my drawing table, so I can't get to them right
No problem.
away. Um, but yeah, here are some of the characters.
Yes, there's
Uh,
your cast of characters. Those are the primary. Then the secondary characters you'll start seeing as each issue comes along.
yeah.
But these are the characters that you'll find in the first 3 issues.
And how do you pronounce his name again? The one with the
Viejo?
like Viejo?
Viejo. It's old
Viejo.
man. Viejo.
Okay. I'm just thinking because I remember, I forgot what month was it, back in September when I was on your show with like Ray and everybody. We were drawing everybody's characters. I
Right.
remember sketching him, and we still have to do that part too, right?
Yes, we still
Yes.
have to do that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss it.
No, we're
That was a really fun show. That was a
yeah,
really
it
fun
was.
show.
It was.
So let's take a look as we go down, seeing some of that. Who's the artist
Prime
on
Santra is the artist on from issue 2 on to the end.
okay.
And the great thing about it, the entire book is done. But yeah, so his line work and his ink work was just beautiful. He's done a fantastic job, and the
Yeah.
colorist is Barbara Soroji,
Mhm.
and she's from Brazil. And she just complimented his art style.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, so I added 8 sample pages because this book is 32 pages. So you get to see we're introducing a new artist, and this in this scene is he's talking to Viejo about the escape with him and Arius, and
Mhm.
but no, they did a fantastic
I
job with this.
love I love the poses, the action shots they got here.
Yeah,
These are very nice.
yeah, and that's Desiree.
Those are on horses, and here's the modern day world.
Yes, and this is where you'll get to see David Hunter and his. So in this here, he's basically trying to do an overtake of another corporation, and he's giving them an offer, and they don't want the offer. They're not willing to sell, so he gives them an offer they can't refuse.
Who's
So
the is George the letterer on this, or you have
George,
someone else?
yes, George is the
George did
letter.
the letter. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love his lettering.
Oh, he's one of the best in the business.
Yeah, yeah, really nice.
I haven't lettered a book since George. George has done mostly all of my books.
Oh, Pyramid Graphic Novels. Hey, man. It's gone.
Hey,
Just
what's
want
up?
to say. Speaking of him, I do have his book, I think, in here. I don't know. Sorry, I may not. Just to give him a little plug.
Yeah.
Sneak. Seek,
Yes.
I mean. I said sneak. Sorry, sneak.
You said sneak.
Yeah, seek. Sorry. Told you I'm having these brain farts today, man. I've been exhausted.
What's up,
So,
Joe?
how you doing, man? And Joe Ryan. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, no, I mean, gorgeous stuff. I'm loving it.
Yes.
Ooh.
And that's Donovan Limbo, and basically he's making an example out of the attorney, and so his ear goes right through the guy's skull.
Jeez.
Yeah. Beautifully.
This is great stuff. I mean, just personally, I'm not usually into watching like or seeing a lot of like the blood in the comics and stuff. I'm not opposed to it. It's just my personal preference.
Right.
But this is just a great piece. You know.
Yeah, I was happy. I found Prime Santra on DeviantArt.
Uh-huh.
He was one of about 7. I forgot how many. It was just dozens of portfolios that I went through, and I really dug his style.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. And then you got something here. This is the cover.
So that's the cover that's the homage cover. So that's
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, the homage to Kingdom Come. So that's a variant cover that I did. And it's only 100 being produced, and it comes with a certificate of authenticity, numbered and signed. So that's also available as well.
That's awesome. I love the I know. I mean, it looked familiar when I first saw it. I wasn't placing Kingdom Come at the time,
Right.
which is one of my favorite DC stories.
Right.
But I was looking at him and I kept thinking, I don't know why, but he kept reminding me as like a very dark Nightwing. Like that's how I saw him. And
Right. When I initially designed him back in about 2000,
yeah,
it was because I was trying to compete with like the grifters of the world from Image, and I wanted my
yeah,
own character, and that's how I started with Sin. And then
yeah, yeah.
when I started developing him, the story evolved into Forbidden. But it was originally just going to be a character that I was going to create. I wanted my own version, and then it just spawned from there.
Yeah. And wow, that's I love the illustration.
Thank you.
Um and it's funny you said you mentioned Grifter when he came out in the 90s. I think everybody was like basing a character on him. He was
Oh,
like
he was badass.
he was like the Wolverine of like it was either Grifter kind of Wolverine type of
Yes.
which one do you like better?
It
And
was it's unfortunate that the cartoon series failed, uh,
yeah,
and that they couldn't move forward with it because that would be a great film if they did well.
I actually was about to just bring up the cartoon a few months back. I don't know. I'm gonna say back in like May or June. I found some of the old episodes on YouTube and I just started
Nice,
watching them. And I'm like,
nice.
oh, I totally forgot about this. Like how it was, and I'll pull that off every now and then. When I
Yeah.
have like
They
some
didn't do it justice, and they should have used the guys, the team that did. I don't know if you ever seen it. Exo Squad. You ever
yeah,
seen
I've
Exo?
watched Exo Squad. Yeah.
It was so real. The dialogue was so strong. The animation was strong. If they would have used a company like them to do the Wildcats, it would have been brilliant.
Mm.
Because Wildcats was just too cartoony, in my opinion, when they developed it. It didn't match the comic book.
I agree. I think like they were playing off the trying to keep the comic book look, but kind of playing off the like the Batman the animated series that was popular at the time.
Yeah,
So like let's try to get that DC style. Let's sleek, make them look slick
but that's why everybody
and
always
clean.
fails. You
Yeah.
know,
But
that's
I was
why.
rewatch. Go ahead.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, but that's why Todd McFarlane's Spawn was so great on HBO.
Oh
The
yeah.
animated. Oh my god, it was fantastic, and
And
it's because he didn't try to follow anybody. He just created a story that fits his character.
and I gotta say, and I've said this on the air before. I love Todd McFarlane. I was not a fan of Spawn. Like I read the first, I'm gonna say up to 10 issues, but
Right,
Spawn just it wasn't a comic for me,
right,
and it wasn't like oh I want everything to be kid friendly and whatever. It just I got tired of and you know I don't want to say he was the reason this happened, but everything was like dark in the 90s. Every character was kind of demon or there was something really everybody had to kind of be brooding all the time and I was just like, I wanted better stories. I didn't need constantly cool looking pinups here and there of all these, grim looking characters,
right.
Um and but Todd McFarlane, I will say this, as a businessman, the way he worked his butt off to get where he is now, you got to give
Fantastic.
this guy so much respect. You gotta. I think he is should be like the role model for every like indie artist who wants to create a business. I mean, you think about it. Outside of the original Image comics that came out, Spawn and maybe Savage Dragon are like the only two that are still being published. You know,
Mhm.
um, so you got to give those guys credit a lot. But what I was going to say is I actually enjoyed the Spawn HBO series. I
Yes.
think to me Spawn works better as like a movie or an animation. I think maybe the type of character he needs that movement in there to for me to appreciate him. I mean, I love comics. I'll read whatever's put in front of me, but I don't know. I think at least at the time, everything was when it first came out. Everything was like major pinups. Every panel had to look like.
But that was
The,
Liefeld, and these. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
no, I know. I get it. I get it. I'm not knocking it, but I'm
mhm.
like, I just felt every page just it didn't
Splash page,
read.
yeah,
Yeah, it was splash pages. It didn't read well to me, and that was my. And I had that issue with other comics too. You
right.
know, but when you look at something like the death of Superman that happened, every book, and I didn't notice this until I went back and reread it, but every book building up to his death, the panels got smaller. It got less and less and less until the last book is basically splash page, splash page, splash page. And it worked that way. But you didn't notice it was happening. It was almost like a camera zooming in
Hmm.
constantly from every issue.
Yeah,
I
which
thought
is
that
why
was yeah,
I really loved the Sam and Twitch series spinoff of Spawn, because
yeah,
it was a story. It was a great. I still think they need to create. There should be a movie or a series based on those two characters. They have a
mhm,
great. It's CSI meets the Boogeyman. I mean, it's just
yeah.
great stuff, and that's where I thought Todd should have capitalized on. With a live action movie, should have been on those two guys.
Yeah, well, if Todd, you're out there listening, listen to Sam. He's doing some great stuff here. So he might be someone who's got some good ideas for you.
Come on, Todd, bring
But
back
Todd,
Sam
if
and
you're
Twitch.
listening, please let's book a
I
a
was
time for
mad
you to
that
come on.
when he announced that he's bringing introducing 3 more titles, that he
Mhm.
wasn't bringing back Sam and Twitch. I was like, "Come on, man. What's the matter with you?"
Well, he's got to follow his passion. Maybe he doesn't have stories right now for them.
There's plenty of stories for those 2 guys.
I'm sure. No, I'm not saying there is. I'm saying maybe he doesn't have the
Yeah,
stories
I
right
know.
now.
Let me write
But
them.
yeah, listen, go for it.
I'll take care
Go,
of it.
go, go, go. Reach out to him.
I know. It's like, "Yo, I should pitch it to him."
Pitch it to him, man. You
Yeah,
never know what'll happen.
yeah.
But let's get back to your comic here because I could talk about cartoons all day long, and, and especially the superhero. And I'll just let's just sidetrack one more time because I got to ask you, since we're talking about like '90s cartoons, have you heard and what are your thoughts on Disney bringing back the X-Men '97?
What? I'm ecstatic. You crazy? That was the
Okay.
best. That was the best. Do you understand that on the weekends when I went to work, I don't know if it was Sunday or whatever, I would
Hmm.
go to work, or whatever it was in the morning. So we had on the 10th floor of our building, there was a break room area, and they would have the TV, and I would go there, and it would be Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends, and there would be the X-Men.
Hmm.
And the theme song alone always gave me goosebumps. And I would go and I'd have my breakfast. I get my everything bagel with cream cheese and jelly toasted, and I get my coffee, and I sit down and I'd watch it. And there was nothing better. In my eyes, there's nothing better.
Yeah. Now I gotta say, when you look at those cartoons, and this is my only issue. I'm not gonna knock the cartoon because I loved it as a kid, well, teenager, and I rewatched it recently over the summer when I was working in the studio on projects. I rewatched the entire series,
Mhm,
and for the most part, everything still held up to me.
mhm.
But when you're looking at a lot of those comics and you're looking at characters like, Jubilee maybe and all these other characters that what's the word I'm looking for? That they're replacing within stories. Like, Jubilee didn't take place had nothing to do with the Dark Phoenix saga,
Mhm.
but they did a Dark Phoenix saga cartoon. So there's so much that's happened and within the X-Men from when that show went off, like great titles. And how do they develop it, not using certain characters to keep the cast, or are they going to introduce a larger cast? Like that's
I
my
really don't
questions.
care. As long as they
I know.
follow the formula, it's because the formula work. And if they can just keep that theme song, which is beautiful. I
I'm
mean,
sure it
I,
will.
I mean, I love the Sentinels. I loved all of it. I mean, the
Mhm.
voices, Gambit's voice, Storm's voice. I always, because of that Storm version,
Mhm.
I always thought when they created X-Men the movie that Angela Bassett would have been a perfect storm
Yeah.
because she fits the profile. And when they came up
Yeah.
with Halle Berry, I was a little annoyed because I really was wanting to see Angela Bassett
A
as Storm.
lot of people think like you do. I mean, I would have been fine with either one. I'm not going to say one was better than the other, although in the movie she had I felt she didn't have anything to do, and they gave her crappy lines. You know,
Yes.
like she had
Yes.
that line when she was talking to Toad. What happens? Do you know what
So
happens to a toad when lightning strikes it? Same thing that happens to everything. I mean, like it was kind of cheesy
it was
and
like the writer didn't know what to say. He's like, "Oh, let's just
yeah,
add this here." Yeah,
yeah.
the X-Men
So,
theme song is the baddest. Oh my, you crazy.
oh, yeah.
Crazy.
I'm
It gets
I'm
me.
totally.
It's like the theme song to Cast the Crazy. It just gets me hyped.
I love that. Always the promoter, man. I love
There
it. I
you
love
go.
it.
There you go.
So let's look at some. Okay, I had that little tangent. Let's bring it back to your stuff here. So let's take a look at some of your rewards and tiers here for
Yeah, so I did
back in the
add
project.
because I did have a request from somebody. So I added because the only way you was able to get the issue 0 and 1 was in the digital bundle
Hmm.
and in the add-on at checkout. So I did add them as tiers. So you can still get 0 in a tier, digital or 0 physical, 1 digital, 1 physical. So it's not represented in this picture, but it's in the tiers.
Okay.
So I added those 4 there, and then you had the John Coates cover. So he did a variant cover,
Hmm.
which is right there, um, which was also colored by I forgot her name, but she's a colorist that does all of my coloring jobs for the covers for Cast the Crazies that I draw.
Okay.
Fantastic colorist, and then you have the homage bundle, which comes with
Yeah.
the Sim sticker, comes with the 2 trading cards. Um, then you can collect all 3 issues, and it'll come with the bookmark and the sticker. Um, then you have the graphic novel bundle, and this was the standard, which now was embellished for Black Friday. So
Yes.
everything that's there, plus a sketch card, plus the sketchbook, plus a pinup for the Black Friday sale at the same price. So I doing
Nice.
a lot of cool free stuff. Then you
Okay.
have
And then your
you
collector
collectible cover.
specials.
Yeah, you get all the covers. So
Hmm.
that comes with the gold covers, which there are 2 gold covers. There's a hollow foil cover, and there's 2 homage covers in there
Hmm.
in that set.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice work. I love looking at this here. So for I was gonna say this looks like a retailer special for
Yes. That's a
$50,
retail special. Yes.
50 copies, and when one of the homages.
Yeah.
It's nice. Let me ask you a question. And just speaking of retailers, because last week I had Fugitive Poems on. I don't know if you've ever watched or seen any of their work.
Mm-mm.
If you go to fugitivepoems.com, um, that you can see their stuff. It's Christian DiMatteo, who's the writer, James Lyons, who is the artist. James is phenomenal at what he does, and they're putting together some anthologies. Anyway, they, you know, they're really pushing the retailer level right now. They funded. They did a 2-month campaign. They funded everything, but they were really pushing the retail level. And I had Andrew on from the Spider's Web in Yonkers over here, and we talked kind of about the retailers looking. A lot of retailers now are coming to Kickstarter, and Andrew was talking about how him and Paul, who's the owner, look at go now to Kickstarters because customers are coming in and telling them, this is a book you should be looking at, or we want this type of stuff over things. Um, is this now? You have the retailer, which is fantastic, and I look, and it seems like you have a second retailer level here.
Yeah. So
Um,
you get the single issues, you get all
yeah,
3 issues. Yeah.
is have you been talking with stores about your books, or is
So
that some? Oh, go ahead.
because of my move, I haven't had time to reach out to retailers directly.
Mhm.
We did have, I forgot the Collectors Corner in California that picked up a bundle on the
Okay.
last campaign. So thank you again, guys. I actually put their quote on the top where they said they received the package delivered impeccably. Um,
Yes, you pack very well, I gotta say.
Thank you. Thank you. And so yeah, my goal, my intent is like now that I'm in Texas, once December is when I'm planning on hitting up all of the local shops and trying to hand deliver to them, but also promote the fact that I'll be having those campaigns.
Yeah.
And then I'm putting together. I've been collecting the email distribution list for all the retailers nationwide, and I'll be
Mhm.
sending a blast soon. Um, uh, but but before I decided to go that route, I want to work with a print on demand that I can fulfill those orders without me having to do it myself.
Yes.
Because that's the last thing I want to do is spend my whole life just packing and shipping stuff.
I
Um, so as long as I find the right print on demand that'll ship directly to them, I that can do that. So
Yeah.
baby steps right now for me.
No, I understand, and I'm thinking, I mean, I like that shops now are realizing that, um, maybe Marvel and DC aren't what is their big or what isn't bringing customers in as much anymore, as people are looking for something different. And I love that you offer 3 retailer specials, which I think is fantastic. Um, the retailer, I see a lot of changes happening on Kickstarter since people have been putting the retailer levels in there. I'm starting to notice more and more retailers are starting to look at this, and I think that's fantastic. And I'm hoping that, any retailers out there watching right now, you back this project. Pick a retailer level that works for you. I think you won't be sorry. This is you won't be sorry. It's not that I know you won't be sorry. This is something that will sell, and I think audiences will will be kind of attracted to, you know.
Thank you.
Um, and I love this here, the 5 copies of issue 1, the sketch cover,
Yeah,
a
so
commission
basically,
sketch cover.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's volume one, that's the first 3 issues all collected in volume one, plus
Yep.
some bonus material, and that they also will get the sketch cover. I will draw a sketch cover that they could sell or whatever they want, and they get the homage cover as well.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And now this is another one. This is your art here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Currently,
That
correct.
was one of my first designs for
That's
Sin back in 2000,
yeah.
and
I really see the grifter influence, especially with the hair.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that was I was like, man, I like that, and then I went a whole different route with him. And, so, yeah, so I'm offering, digital, commissions and also, physical commissions, as
this
well.
is great.
And, and then I'm also up for grabs are some of the original pieces. That's the piece that I did for Tragedy and, Forbidden crossover.
Yeah, actually, I was going to bring that up. I was talking with Phil the other day through Facebook Messenger, and he has his book Tragedy, which I do have down here somewhere as well. That is something I could show real quick. Tragedy was super well written. Art was gorgeous. Issue 2 is up right now on Kickstarter as well. I don't remember the exact day it ends. Maybe but
The link is at the bottom of my page too.
and maybe we'll go check it out, because I think you guys should be supporting Phil. He puts out great work too. So after we're done looking at Sam's, we'll talk about Phil's stuff. I loved reading Tragedy. But tell us, how did the kind of crossover come to be?
He contacted me and he said, "Hey, you're launching on November 1st, and so am I. Do you want to cross promote?" And I was
Hmm.
like, "All right, what are you talking about? What ideas do you have?" He's like, "Well, I was thinking of, he was thinking more of doing like a simulcast launch and all that other stuff." I said, "How about I draw a piece and you color it?" And I
Hmm.
said, "So I'll do a piece of your character and my character, and you color it." And he says, "Sure, I can do that." So I decided to take his main character and Desiree, the 2 girls, and take his villain and my villain, and put the creeper from Forbidden, and we
Yeah.
did it. And as an incentive, that if I got to 75 backers, you get the digital prints. From me, he already blew his backer goal already.
Oh yeah.
And if I got to 100 backers, you would get the physical print.
Mhm.
But yeah, so the piece, that's an 11 by 17 original art piece that's available and framed. It comes framed from the book, from the crossover.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome. I'm gonna tell you guys. I know this. Let's get him to 100 backers. This is something you guys, someone will want to own. With the prints, it's a beautiful piece, and it's and you're also, in addition to helping out Sam over here, you're gonna get another person's character that Sam drew, and that comic, if you haven't read Tragedy, is a fantastic story as well. Um, so you're gonna get in this down here. That's the character.
Yeah. And there's the color version you'll see in a minute.
Yeah,
And so all the original art, that's one of the original pencil art pages
yeah.
by Anibal Royal, cover page. That's also available.
I always love his work.
His pencil work is beautiful.
Yeah. Let's look here.
David Keelis's cover. That was the hollow foil cover, so it'll
Mm.
come framed, but also comes with the book.
And did you say he's the new artist from issue
No,
201?
David Keelis is he was an underground artist, and
Okay.
he's no longer drawing. At least I don't think so. But he was big in the New York circuit underground.
Okay.
He had a lot of a fan base for his work. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did that cover for me.
It's nice. It's a really nice piece.
And there's the issue number 1 cover by Anibal Royal. That's the original art, and it comes with the book as well.
And it comes framed.
Yeah, everything comes framed.
Yeah,
In fact, it's like this.
Hold on, I'm going to give you the full screen so I can see it.
So
Okay.
this is one of the pieces that this one's on Indiegogo, but
Wow.
they come framed. So
That's gorgeous.
and then it's packed to perfection.
Yes, I will. I listen. I can attest to his packing jobs. It's everything I've ever gotten from you. Really, really well. Nothing ever wrong with the shipping.
Yeah.
And
then we have tons of add-ons. Every cover ever produced, available as add-ons. We have tons of stickers and pinups. A lot of good add-ons that at checkout you can add on and say, I only wanted issue 1, but you know what? I like that sticker. Just whatever it is, you can always add on at the checkout. So all of those are available.
Very nice. And then backer goals. So at 50 backers, you unlock the digital print of David Hunter
and the
Creepers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
at 75, you unlock the digital print of Philip Ross's Tragedy. That's color. It's a really nice colored piece. I like that a lot.
The colorist is Giorgio Rosasco. He did the coloring beautifully done. Beautifully done.
It's gorgeous.
I was like, he makes me look professional.
And then at 100 backers,
you get
unlock
both physical.
Yeah. Oh.
So the physical backers get the physical, and the digital backers get the digital. So at 100, you'll get 2 prints.
Yeah.
That means on top of what you already pledged, that you'll still get additional stuff in the mail.
Yeah.
And there's the preview pages from issue 1. And that was done by Anibal Arroyos Compoyos.
Yes.
And then preview pages of issue 0, where it all kicked off.
Yeah. This is nice.
I mean, Anibal, he was made to do fantasy.
Yeah.
It's just, I couldn't get him to finish the series, but at least I had him do the first 2, which, I'll take that any day.
Yeah. Listen, it's, I mean, you got great artists no matter where you go, but I love Anibal's work. It's, he has a great look, great style for fantasy. I know we always bring up how he draws hair. There's something about it. It's
amazing.
The way he renders it, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now stretch goal number 1, this is at 1,000, so that's been unlocked. 1,500, the Sin sticker. See, this is all great stuff. I black and white card. That's nice. So this is everybody involved.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool stuff. First convention forbidden fans to next generation fans. Epic Fantasy proves to transcend. That's awesome. I love that. I love that look. And then here is the tragedy. I assume you had a chance. Have you had a chance to read the first issue of Tragedy?
Oh, not yet. I have. I have. So because my move, I have. You could. I got like 14 Kickstarter packages that I backed that are that are still in the boxes that I have to get to. Because the move I couldn't get to all of them.
Yeah, I came home to this the other day. I won't show because I haven't put anything out, but it's Daphne Lage's latest
my God,
Ego
it is
Raven
packed with stuff.
Is it?
It is packed with it. I got hers right there on the floor. I have a box. I received hers. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got Daphne's. She threw in everything, and I also got
Well, I'm gonna give you the full screen.
So these are the most two recent that just came in the mail that I backed. The Ember, the last Ember.
Okay.
Look at that, it's beautiful. This came with this, but when I open up Daphne's, hold on, she threw everything in the kitchen sink. So she's got. I have Eagle Raven, the graphic novel.
Yes.
Then I have Heir to the Unicorn issue number 3 because I had I backed the first 2, so I have that.
Yeah.
As well. Then you have this print. Then you have this thank you postcard. Then you have this sticker and that trading card. Then you have a whole set of trading cards. Look at this.
Nice.
That came in it. Beautifully done. Then you have buttons and coasters and lapels, pins. I mean, I couldn't. I was like, "What is it? Christmas?" I said, well, "She really loaded this box up."
Let me tell you, I don't remember the tier that
I don't either. I was like, I backed all that.
you make me want to open it, so I'm going to open it live on the air right now. All right.
Yes.
Let me do that.
So I have because I back on Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and everything just started hitting me, and so everything's still in boxes. I on the floor because I'm going to feature them all on what's in the box.
Okay. So let me see. I'm gonna open this up myself right now. So
wait, I can't see you. Oh, there you go.
Okay, there you are. So there I am. So I got my trusty scissors here. Let's not hurt myself. I try to back as much as I can to support all, Kickstarters, but I don't always go usually very high because I'm just trying to. I like to give a little bit to everybody if I can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and because we have a lot of right now, 80% of our guests all have campaigns, so it's hard, and between me and George, like he'll back one, I'll back one, he'll back one, I'll back one.
Yeah. Okay, so this I'm probably not as much as you, but this is how it came. So I've got in here, let's see what came. Oh, I got my own card set here, and the thank you card is part of it. It's attached.
Yeah.
So, oops, I don't know if I tore that open or not, but I think it's taped down. So I'm not going to open it right now, but I got my card set here. I got a print here. I've got issue 3, Heir to the First Unicorn here. I've got The Legend of the Silk Rose, which I believe is the prose book, she said.
Yeah, nice
story. I think it's a prequel prose, and then there's a button, it looks like, in here, like a pin or a button or stickers. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, I always hate this. Okay, there we go. Oh, yep, I got I got 2 Ego Raven
Yeah.
buttons
Yes.
there. Yeah, the
Yes.
pins. So yeah, it's I mean that's packed well. I don't even know what tier I backed now.
It's funny because I've all her floppies, but I
Yeah,
wanted it collected because I love having this on my bookshelf.
yeah,
I love the graphic novel. So if you have a campaign and you collected, and what's up, JD? We're talking about you guys.
So you're talking
Um,
about yeah,
yeah, when you have and you do the collected, and I'm digging your stuff. That's what I'm going for.
yeah,
But I have all her floppies and the collected
yeah.
edition.
I actually had her on the show a few weeks ago, and JD was on, and I was talking about how I met them back in the '90s at a when I think I was 16 at a show at the local mall, and I bought all their books they had. There was a Tall Tales issue because they're not much older than me, but they started before me, and their work was really inspiring
Yeah.
to kind of
Well,
get me
JD was
in.
my printer. He used to print my books.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. That's how we
So
met. I met JD through a friend of mine, David Keeles, and who did the cover for Forbidden,
yeah,
and that's how we met. And he was our printer for a hot minute, and then I disappeared from comics.
it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
I gotta move my butt to finish up a project I'm working on. So I know what it's like disappearing for a while. Mine's probably been about God, I don't know how many years now. I haven't made a comic for myself. Let's say I've been married 13 years, been with my wife 16. I put out at least one comic throughout that time I was with my wife. No, I'm
Yeah,
still with her, so it's not like while I was with her, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
In that time that we met, because of work and other reasons. I mean, I've worked on indie comics for other people. I've drawn a few pages, some pinups, some things. Worked on, I've even lettered a few books and stuff, but nothing of my own for years. So I'm excited to get this project done.
yeah.
But
Yeah. I missed it, and we came back in 2019. We released 3 issues of Catch the Crazies.
mm,
Um, you know, Launch Forbidden, in 2022 is going to be more specific and measured, because we're
mm,
really, really going after really building the base, the fan base.
yeah,
And, this year was a good year for Cast of Crazy. We added 212 new subscribers to the channel, which really positive.
that's awesome. Congratulations
Um,
on that.
so we really want to expand our reach, and I believe that's going to happen through being at events. And so we're going to do MegaCon
Okay.
together. So he's going to have we're going to have our tables lined up together.
Hmm.
So George will have his own, I'll have my own, but we're going to be connected.
Hmm.
And we're going to start there. So I only want to do I want to do San Diego Comic Con. Hopefully they come back.
Hmm.
Dragon Con and MegaCon. Those are my big ones. I'm
Now
going.
I'll tell you, those are 3 I've never been to.
You never
But
done San Diego?
I've never had a chance to go.
Oh,
Um, I'm what we call, you might be a brokerpreneur, but I'm just poor. It's it's you know,
San
and
Diego. I mean, but I did 5 years of San Diego Comic Con. To the point where because you need a permit to sell, a seller's
yeah.
permit, and the agency, whoever provides the permit, the city, whatever, um, they said, Sam, you're doing this every year, so we're giving you a permanent ID, so I didn't have to apply every year.
Oh,
They go,
that's
don't worry
great.
about it, and just fill out the tax forms when you at the end of the convention. That
Yeah.
was it. Um, um, but yeah, so there was we did it 5 years, I think. I forgot. I think it was 5 years. I loved it. It's an experience like no other.
It is something I want. Listen, I've done New York Comic Con. I did it the first, I think, 3 years it came out. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about large cons right now, especially something like that. And I'm not even talking pandemic, being around people. I'm talking about when you do shows that large. I don't feel it's always like a good comic show for indie people because
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
It is.
and it's like, and yeah, I'd rather experience as a fan walking a show, something
Mhm.
like that, than spending all that money and being behind a table. I was actually talking with a friend earlier who I don't want to say they're just getting the comics, but they have a couple of issues out of their book, but they haven't really done conventions. And they talking to me about New York Comic Con, and I
Right.
said, I think you guys should start off something a little smaller, get your feet wet. I said it doesn't hurt to go, but just know you're going to pay probably 2 grand or more for a spot, and people are going for the celebrities and cosplay and all this other stuff that people aren't,
Right, but those
going.
events, if you're
Yeah.
gonna do San Diego, New York,
Mhm.
Dragon Con,
Yeah.
the only reason why I would do it, the reason why I do it is not because of I'm looking to sell units. It's because
Mhm.
I'm looking to connect with the acquisitions teams for the big studios, for the big
Yeah.
publishers. That's the reason why I do it. So
Mhm.
when I'm gearing up for those events, I'm ready to have my press kits put in place. I have everything ready, and I'm worried, and I'm working on my setup. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to have, and if when I for San Diego, this is you're gonna have to spend some money.
Yeah.
If again, if you're just looking to be an indie comic guy, you're gonna lose money doing San Diego. If you don't have the name recognition,
Mhm.
and you don't have this buzz around your project, you're gonna lose money.
Yeah.
Um, and you're welcome, and you're gonna lose money. The purpose for me to do those big shows is really to spotlight the brand and the character potential, the marketability of what I've created, and I'm really looking to connect with those people,
Yeah.
the publishers, the editors, the acquisitions team, the buyers, the licensees, and the best thing to do if you can do a San Diego Comic Con is save your money and buy an ad in the program guide, a full page ad, so that when people are turning those pages, they see you and they're like, "What the hell's that?" And boom, and make sure that whatever you're doing on that full page is so splashy that's going to bring a lot of attention. That's what I did, and I had
Mhm.
lines. And that's how, and I sold out of my stuff because of the ad that I bought in the program guide. But
Yeah.
it's tough for the little guy because everyone's racing to get those signatures, those autographs. Everyone's very going to the panels, those big splashy panels. They're going to get those exclusive San Diego Comic Con exclusives from Marvel Comics and all the big names,
Yeah.
getting all their books signed from their favorite artists.
Excuse
So
me.
you got to compete with all those people. You're going to get the families.
Yeah.
So the families that don't really understand it, but the kids wanted to go, and then they stop and they see your stuff. They go, "Oh, let me check this out," and that's all you got to capitalize on. The people who really don't know, that's
Yeah.
your audience. Because the people who do know, you're the last person on their list.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good advice. That's good advice. I hope to do it one day when I first of all when I have more product. But I just want to wait till I feel I'm ready. I'm not ready to do shows right now. I'm actually in a couple of weeks, December 10th, 11th, and 12th. I'll be in Edison, New Jersey. I'm running the kids section at Christmas Con.
Wow,
So it's going to be basically all the celebrities that are going to be there are like from all the Hallmark Channel movies that
nice.
they do for the Christmas stuff. So it's nice. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not really ready to be in such large crowds. But I really want to do that, and I've had the idea for years to do like a line of greeting cards, not just Christmas cards, but
Right.
I've had all these like holiday designs that I do for fun that I think would always make great greeting cards. So I started printing a few up, and I'm kind of testing. I want to test the waters at the show and see how it goes.
Nice.
Um, Number one, Joe Ryan says solid advice, actually, which is true. I completely agree. And JD says Daphne says thank you, and you're very welcome, Daphne. You put out great work. So happy to support. Um, Now, let's just take a quick look because I want to end talking about your stuff again, but I want to take a quick look over at
No, you click
JD
it. I had
at Tragedy at Phil's.
yes.
Philip Russett, who has been on the show when he had his first Kickstarter. Unfortunately, due to scheduling and time, I haven't been able to get him on for this, and mostly on my end because I was booked so far in advance with stuff, and by the time I have a free spot, his Kickstarter will be over. Um, okay, hold on one second. Joe Ryan says, Michael Gracia, let's talk tomorrow if we can. Yes, I have to reach out. Joe will be at the convention with me doing caricatures during Christmas
Nice.
Con, so we will talk. Um, and hopefully tomorrow I have a couple of things I need to take care of. I'm doing a virtual event for kids tomorrow and teaching them how to draw. So there's some behind the scenes stuff I got to take care of in the morning and whatnot. But we'll find time to talk. But let's take a look at Tragedy real quick. I just want to show what you can get. I mean, listen, he asked for 5,000. He's at 7,729.
Wallen.
I'm going to put this link in the comments as well. I think. Hold on. I think this is a great Kickstarter. I am interested in the second issue myself. But let's just, I'll quickly go. I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to quickly scroll through it. You guys can kind of see the, what you can back and how much you can back for. And he has all these different covers, so it might be quicker to go through some of the art. You can see
20, 20 covers.
20 covers. Jeez.
He has a lot of covers.
Yeah, he does a lot of great stuff here. And there's your piece.
Look at that beautifully
which
rendered.
it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
More stretch goals. He's got a few things. I mean, this book really, I don't know how to describe it. When I read it, because it's been a while, I read it as soon as I got it. It was one of those days I had nothing to do.
Right.
But it's just it's classic comics. That's the best way to put it. It's a classic comic with a modern take right in the writing style. But when you look at the artwork, I feel like I'm looking at a book that could be from the 80s or 90s, art wise. But it's it's interesting. It's just a very, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So, but seriously, I read everything you put in front of me. I love comics. I really, really do. It's my favorite storytelling medium, even though I love animation. I know comics can be a stronger storytelling medium because you're limited to your skill with the pencil and your imagination. Also, you don't need computers or cameras and all this crazy stuff to make a comic. I mean, you could, but to animate, you need the software, you need all this stuff, sound, and blah blah blah. With comics, it's a pencil and paper, man. You could do it. You could totally do it, and that's why it's like my favorite storytelling medium. And when I see things, I've read some really great stuff, and this happened to everyone. You read some things that are just total crap, but you liked what there was something about it that wanted to pull you in, and you're just like, oh, okay, it's not for me, and you stop buying. But this is something that if it's on the shelves, I would be a regular monthly purchaser of this book. And speaking of a book I'd be a regular monthly purchaser on, let's get back to Forbidden. Because that book is, if you guys like fantasy with a modern take on things, this totally is the book for you. I'm going to once again, even though I put it in earlier, just again in the comments, it's going to go back in. These are another, just as a reminder, this is where you can go to back. This book here, especially in the first issue, because if I remember correctly, not that I'm spoiling anything, but you don't realize, I think, until the end of the book that you're in modern times, if I'm correct. That's issue 0, I believe, right?
Issue 0, you don't realize because you just think you're in this medieval world until you get to issue 1. So remember in issue 0, the backers of issue 0, we had a stretch goal that if we made the stretch goal, I would add the first 4 pages to issue number 1 in there. So you got to see the modern world in that, but the traditional issue 0 doesn't have it. But they are a race of people that live on the ground. while the surface has evolved. And
Yeah.
you know, there's now, there's a conflict, and everyone's lives changed by one act, by the
Yeah.
son, by, her young brother.
Yeah. No, that's. I'm just trying to find something up here. Yeah, just the current art for this, which I still love that piece right there. I mean, it's great. Like, and you know what? I like that you were talking about going to when you go to San Diego, you're looking for the studios. You know.
Yeah, that's the only reason. I mean, when you're a little guy like me, there's you're fooling yourself if you think you're gonna go out there and make a killing, because you're not gonna make the cost back of that airfare, the hotel, the table, the printing of your materials, the marketing, all that stuff that led up to it. When you're an unknown, unless you have something that creates such a buzz at the floor that there's demand, and that takes a lot of legwork. And what you want to try to do is grab the attention of the people that can change your life and to change the
Yeah.
course of your property. And so that's the only reason why I do those big shows. The localized shows is really for me to build a fan base. The big shows is really for me to put on my dancing shoes and dance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when you really have to present. Your pitch has to be perfect. Your presentation has to be perfect. Everything you do, and you have to. San Diego is not the convention when you need to have your head down drawing. San Diego is
Yeah.
not the convention. That's where you spent enough money where you need to be up, and you need to represent, and you have to have the biggest smile in the room, and you got to force eye contact.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, been a long time. And they're like, huh? We know each other? Well, let me, yeah, you got to just try to get them in.
Yeah.
Where do I know you from? I know you from comics, right? And just bring them in, and then just start that conversation, and try to make sure you have a lot of coffee, a lot of sugar, and have fun. Um,
Yeah.
every show I've been to San Diego, I've never left my table. Never.
Wow.
I never got to see the panels. I never got to see none of that stuff. And that's the only regret I have. Like I didn't geek out because I was too busy pitching.
But you know what? This is a business, and that's smart. And the reason I was saying I like that what you do at San Diego, your thought process, is because this right here, I see as a TV series. I can honestly see this. I'm not talking film. Film will not do this justice. Animation, yes, but a live action TV series, I see this as. This can go, I would say, 5 seasons the way I'm viewing it right now. Maybe more. I see a live action, 22 episode series, you know, the whole thing. I think this has a lot of potential here for something like that.
Thank you.
So it's you've set something up that has a lot, that is entertaining. That is, uh, I don't know if I want to use the word thought provoking, but it captures the imagination, and it works great for, and this is for fantasy lovers everywhere, man. It's great. It's almost like a fantasy version of Stargate, if you will. If you guys out there know Stargate, it's one of my favorite science fictions. But they, instead of the government kind of holding on to this Stargate and them going off and exploring worlds, it kind of has this guy kind of leaves his home and enters this new world, and all this stuff's happening that he's unaware of and doesn't know. He's a stranger to this world.
Yeah.
And the people at back home are trying to figure out what to do. Well, he's trying to figure out what to do. It's like he needs a new way to survive. So it kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if that was the best analogy, but it kind of has that feel to me. Um, and instead of fighting aliens, you got your like demons and stuff there. It's
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean,
yeah.
he's never seen the type of weaponry,
Yep.
the type of clothing. He's having an effect from the sun because he's been underground ever since.
Yeah.
That's why he got sick, and that's why he ended up, um, you know, uh, sleeping for several days because, and being taken care of because of all this. It's just all new for him, and so he risks everything, i- you know, with his family
Yeah.
escapes with his lover. She's gone. He's there alone. There's a strange guy. He runs away. He's attacked. It just spirals out of control. And he's like, "What the hell did I get myself into? Why did I do this?" So it's one of those things where you reap what you sow.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great stuff, man. Um, we're gonna start wrapping up in a minute, but I gotta say, I really love, you know, I love what you're doing. It sounds great. I still have to donate. I haven't had a chance to donate yet. Um, so I'll figure out what tier I'll be backing. I always use the word donate. I hate using the word donate because you're not really donating. You're
Oh,
backing. You're paying
yeah.
for a project. And it's great quality stuff. And let me tell you guys, I have his Catch the Crazies. I don't have Alien in the Toilet yet. I need to read that. I need to read your prose. I'm very eager to read that because I love the concept behind that of the
Well, every backer over 15 goes into the raffle, but
yeah.
art will be sometime next year as well. But
Hmm,
I decided to throw that in as a incentive.
nice. Well, if I remember to back before noon tomorrow, I can get my name thrown in the
Yes, but yeah.
possibly.
Well, so we have 6 names, but every 5 names go into the raffle. So we need
Okay.
4 more for that raffle.
Yeah.
But we're doing it every week until the campaign ends.
All
Um,
right.
um, and so that's I just try to do as many things as possible to try to gain people's attention towards this project.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're doing a good job. I think you guys need to go back, click the link as soon as this is over. Back this project. You will not be sorry. It is a fantastic story developing. I've read all the previous stuff that you have for this, and I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Yep.
Um,
Wait till you
and
see
the
this one.
and the art is gorgeous.
Yeah,
The
this one's
story is
great.
great. You're really knocking it out. You're up there. I want to see this on shelves competing with the mainstream stuff. And the other indies. So
Yeah, they might go. Yeah, that's why this is the last campaign for Forbidden until next fall. And that's when you'll be able to get the entire 170 page, 68 page book. It's
wow.
actually 200 page. The hardcover is going to be 200 pages. The soft cover is going to be 170 pages. And because the hardcover is going to have all the collected stuff. The concept art, storyboards, the notes, character designs, all that stuff. Um, and that is I'm waiting because my decision to do that is because I don't have that huge demand for it. So I was
Hmm.
like, well, if no one's racing to my door saying put out the next one, put out the next one, even though they're all done. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna collect it in the fall. So same time next year, this time, Forbidden graphic novel will be released.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start the new year with my other baby, which is some comedy, fun, cartoony stuff, which is Disneyland in my toilet.
And that
That
concept you talked about
really,
last.
yes,
Oh,
and
sorry.
that I illustrated the whole thing. So
Yeah. And you talked about that, I think, on the last time you were on as well. And I just love the concept about that. So that's going to be a great book too.
yeah.
But anyway, it's I gotta wrap up for the night here. I know that you're in a time difference now, right? It's not was it you're central
I'm
or
central. So over here it's
it's
9:30.
so you're only an hour difference, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So not bad, not bad. It's not a big change to you then coming to going to Texas then. Like
No,
for
it's just
sleeping patterns and
remembering because I still book guests at Eastern Standard Time, so I always
yeah,
got to remember I'm always an hour behind.
yeah.
But no, it hasn't been a big difference other than the fact that the clock is moving faster. I had to have a conversation with God, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing. I know that there's this comet that's coming, supposed to hit us on April of 2020, whatever. I said,
Yeah.
but can you slow the clock down, please? Because the days are going too damn fast. I can't catch up. It's like I wake up
I
on Monday and it's Saturday already. I mean, what
I
the hell
know.
just happened?
I feel the same way, man. I
Crazy.
took because I came home yesterday, so obviously I took off yesterday. I decided, hey, listen, it's Thanksgiving week. I'm not working Thursday and Friday. I'll just take Tuesday and Wednesday off as well to kind of recover from
Right.
the trip, and get things together for Thanksgiving and just kind of reorganize my stuff. And I feel like between yesterday and today, I've only done one thing on my list, and I'm like, this isn't good. I still have 3 more things to take care of, and
Yeah.
I'm going to that, and that's what tomorrow's for.
Yeah. And then with this whole COVID thing, trying to get
Yeah.
somebody on the phone, oh, forget about it.
Excuse me.
I
I
was
know.
2 hours on the phone with Easy Pass, because they sent me these toll violations over $1,000. So what the hell? I got a toll tag. Why are you sending me
Yeah.
violations? So but they had me on hold for 2 hours. I left it. I had 2 phones going to try to see which one picks up first. It's hard.
It's funny. The other night before on Saturday night, my wife and I kind of upgraded our plane tickets. Right. I I I have some um I have arthritis in my knees and hips, and I have some issues like with my back. And when I was decided to go to Disney World, I'm like, I'm gonna have to take my cane. I try not to use my cane unless I really need it, but I'm like, I'm gonna need my cane. And on the flight down, I was in so much pain. I had to upgrade my my flight, my to a better leg room, to more leg room.
Right.
And there was so many issues from the upgrade. At one point, they upgraded, and then they said, and our money wasn't taken out of the bank; it was pending. And then we look at our tickets, and it's like we have no tickets. Like, we were looking at stuff, and
Uh,
then they charged us extra for one of our bags for our check-in, and they gave. So my wife at like 11:30 at night on Saturday night was on the phone. I believe it was Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember. Was on the phone. I was on the phone with hold with the airline, and she was waiting for someone to pick up on on the chat, feature.
right.
So she starts on the chat feature, and as soon as she's done with the chat feature, someone picks up on the phone. So I'm like, "You're on there. Do you want me to hang up?" She's like, "No, stay on there." So we were up till, I don't know, close to 1 a.m. just
It's horrible.
waiting to talk, and then we couldn't even get it fixed over the phone. They said, "You got to come to the airport to take care of it." We go to the airport, and I'm standing on this line carrying, rolling my luggage, trying to stand up with a cane, and it's a big bag. And listen, it's not like I couldn't do it. It was just hard maneuvering around the rope kind of area. And she's going to the the self check-in to try to find someone to talk to. And as soon as she got someone to talk to, I waited on that line for almost a half hour, and it wasn't moving. As soon as she got someone to talk to, I was off the line in 5 minutes. Everything was taken care of. And I'm just like,
Crazy.
all that work we did trying to get in touch with people, waiting all that time, not being able to get an answer. I was just like, this
Well,
was
that's why
just
it took so
nuts.
long for me to close on my house in Jersey
Yeah,
because the banks are understaffed. Everything moved in a snail's pace.
yeah,
We
yeah,
were waiting on the title company, and the title company, forget it, that was a nightmare.
yeah.
And that took just for them 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, that's rough. It's a
Was
tough time,
Yeah,
out there for everybody. So
yeah,
it's unfortunately we gotta try not to stress and make do when we know we're calling people, and people are still working from home, you know,
yeah.
and they're taking calls at home and stuff, and I don't
Sitting
know.
at poolside.
What?
They're at the pool in the yard.
Yeah,
Yeah, having that tequilas, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta take this call. Oh, they can wait a
yeah.
little bit."
I I I I actually would believe that.
Yes, because I
I
have I have a few buddies of mine that because they're not opening up the offices, so they want everyone to
Yeah,
stay in the field. And when I talk to them, they're either in the gym or they're at the park with the kids, and they're doing the business as they do that. And I'm like, so I know you're not getting 100% from people,
yeah,
because they're out there playing.
yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do what we can. But I wanna do get going. I have to get going. So
Yep.
I just
Best
wanna
of luck.
first of all thank you for coming on. I wanna thank you for sharing your work with everybody. What you're doing is fantastic. You guys in the audience today, please go back Forbidden on Kickstarter. The link is in the comments. Also, after you back Forbidden, then you go back, you click on the link and back Tragedy. All right, nothing against Phil's stuff, but back Forbidden first, man.
Yes.
You're not gonna miss it because I love Phil's work. I love Sam's work. I love everybody's, man. I get so excited. I see Daphne's work. I see all these people, and it's just like I need to like hit the lottery so I can just start backing
Yeah, no,
people and just
I know.
spending the days reading comics.
Yes.
You
It
know,
would be
that's
a tragedy if you don't back Forbidden.
that. So seriously, you guys go do it. It is fantastic. And follow on YouTube at Catch the Craze. um Sam, I'm
Yes.
going to drop you backstage before I
Yeah.
let you go. Any last words?
Thank you for having me. And also subscribe to Get in Tune. Really cool
Thank you,
stuff.
thank you, thank you.
Yes.
All right, I'll see you in a moment. All right.
Later.
All right, guys. So that's the end of today. Thank you for everyone who stayed and watched the whole way through, or if you're rewatching in a few minutes after this, thank you for rewatching. Um, you know, Sam is always a pleasure to have on the show. I always enjoy chatting with him. But he's putting out great work. I've said it before. I say it off the air to my friends. I say it on the air. The people I'm bringing on are people's work who I truly believe in. Um, I think have really great ideas and great concepts. And you know, Sam between with Sam's solo projects like Forbidden and the stuff he does with Catch the Craze with Georgia, like Catch the Crazy, they're putting out fantastic work. And these are guys you should be following. These are guys you should be supporting. So please go back Forbidden, go back Tragedy. When there's an Alien in My Toilet comes out, I'm sure I'll have Sam back because that just is fun, and I want to hear more about that, and we're going to talk about backing that one. So, you guys, thanks for tuning in. If you missed my kind of like pop up stream I did yesterday, I did it all about my trip to Disney and the Destination D23. I got a great guest coming on next week. I don't have it up right now because I have trouble pronouncing his last name, but he was on last year. He talked about Puppetoon. And the animation of George Pal, which is Puppetoons, which kind of inspired all the great animators. His first name is Arnie. He's a producer. He's produced some great stuff. Just check out next week. We're going to have links to purchasing Puppetoons and talking about all this great stuff that George Pal did. If you're an animation fan and you don't know who George Pal is, look him up. You're not going to regret learning about his stuff, man. All right. Again, thanks for Sam coming on. Please back Forbidden, Tragedy. Go follow youtube.com/catchthecraze, and I will see you next week. All right, guys.